Here's a little recording showing what I know so far of using Watson and actually our own backend. We're going to be integrating them together. So in Watson we have a skill. So there's a few intents that I've put in. Not very many intents. Quite a few entities. And so, for example, I also sent you a JavaScript file which is like a list of all the entities. So the entities are split into categories like experiences, and then this children thing is the various like subcategories. So for example, if I wanted to add a new entity in Watson, I'll come back to that in a moment. I'll just show you how things roughly work, and we'll come back and add a little bit more detail. So the intents are like the verbs, the things that people have as their kind of what they want to do. The entities are like the nouns, all of the objects, like basically different categories of events. So the main thing that you will see is the top level. So for example, music is the top level, and then inside any of them are all of the sub-levels. You can actually click on some of these, like jazz and blues. If you click this little thing here, it will recommend synonyms. So ragtime, saxophone, whatever. If you add those, now they will also get trained up and recognized. So let's go back to the third step, is the dialogue, where the whole Watson thing comes together. And you click over here to start this thing, and it's now just training up that little extra jazz thing I added. So how this basically works is it goes from the top and it seems to fall down to the bottom, and I'm not really familiar with Watson, I just picked it up yesterday, but so what I have, my way of doing it is to add more general things at the bottom and more specific things at the top. So if it picks up one of the more specific things, it won't fall all the way down to the bottom. So it says welcome, and what this thing is saying, hello. These are sequential, so it will just basically go through them one after the other. So this time it's hello, then it goes to the next block. Hey, can I tell you about a list of events going on? And there's a little thing here, ask about, and we give the user some hints, and then another just a random follow-on from there. So now if I click on this thing, it'll tell me that we are on the first scene. So in theory, if I put in like, I don't know, live music, it should catch this one here. That's a little bit earlier. I think it did catch it because it said Shanghai is famous for lighthouses, which is this thing here. And then I put in what's called a jump. So what it is if it catches live music, Shanghai is famous for live music, and then it actually did this thing called tag livehouse, and I'll tell you later, those are going to be special commands that are going to get picked up by our database. And then after that it jumps to how about that, which is the kind of, is this what you wanted or not? So something else, and then I can say yes, that was good, blah blah blah. Then it just loops around. So if I put in a type of music that we don't actually have a catch for, so for example right now we're back at welcome, and I didn't put anything in for hip. If I just put in like music in general, it's catching on musical for some reason, which is kind of annoying. I'm not sure why it does that. No thanks. Start again. Let's see if captured on stage. Well, let's try a different thing. If instead I capture, I don't know, let's see, dance we've already got, actually jazz we haven't. So if I put in like I like jazz, we'll recognize it as jazz, but we don't have a catch for jazz in here. So that's what I want you guys to do. You start building out and adding to these things. So basically if we go in here right now, it's recognized that it's music. Actually, these shouldn't be in here. It's recognized that it's music, and the response to that is, what kind of music do you like? Because it wasn't able to recognize value for music. So for example, in these other ones here, I put in music is Livehouse. So I'm just going to add a capture for jazz in here. So I can click on this node, I can click and add a node below, because I don't want it to be a child node. So if the entity is music and its value is jazz blues, then whatever, I love jazz too, it's the real, okay, that's the dope shit, whatever. Then we can, what we're actually going to do now is add another message. I want them as separate messages, and it's going to show cat, which is a shortcut. Jazz blues is the name of the category, and then we're going to go and jump to the how was that thing? Jump here and respond, and now this thing is saved already basically, because all we're doing is mapping it out. So if I hit clear, oops, it will start again. I can say jazz, I love jazz too, and now it's giving this little trigger called that. It's something else, so it's not really very clear, but it's going to this node here. How about that? I don't like that, something else. Do you like those events? What do you think? Is this what you fancy? And I'm actually putting these as random, so basically we get like a different reply each time it goes through. So if I said cool, that should be a positive reaction. As for some reason the positive reaction, oops, if I just expand this, I've got negative and positive. Maybe it's just jumping to welcome right away. So after how about that, we actually don't want to jump anywhere. We want to wait for the user to say it was good or bad, and then jump to welcome. There, jump to welcome there. Okay, so we're at the beginning again, so if I put like, I don't know, reggae, let's see what happens. Oops, did it restart? I don't know, sometimes it doesn't go where I want. Reggae doesn't pick anything actually. Oh, it doesn't know what reggae is, it doesn't even know it's a type of music, I don't think. I put jazz in, okay. I love jazz, cat. What do you think? Yes, they're good. Now it goes back to the beginning again. Jazz. And you'll see when I got a good reply, I put in happy to help. Do you like those events? No, I don't. Oh well, I guess I'll try again. And it just loops around like that. So basically, the more specific ones at the top, if it falls down, not sure that we want that in there. Jump, or do we? Yeah, we do. All of these should have a jump. This one, music EDM, that should probably, I have music, dance, electronic already. You can move it, click on this one, move it below, because I actually don't want these extra ones inside the music thing. I want music to be the final thing. So move it to below here. So basically, if I say any kind of music, we should have a kind of targeted response. But if I just say like, you know, I love music, then it should follow up with that. What kind of music do you like? And we haven't got any other more smart handling in there, but maybe after that it can go back and I don't know, set a tag or something. So I'll put in I love music. Should say, it's still catching on musicals. That, I wonder if I can fade that, change that to be smarter. No, I can't choose submodes, that's not good. Well, I'm a bit stuck on that, so if I was to say I love listening to stuff, let's see, general positive feedback, well, that's not quite good enough. Well, anyway, this is just an overview of kind of how you start scripting stuff out in Watson.